Let's talk about some horror books that I'm absolutely terrified to read. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Carly, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about books I've had on my TBR for a very long time that I'm too scared to read because they intimidate me. Like, I'm terrified to read these books. So I have made no secret about the fact that I absolutely love my horror books, but I have a habit of collecting these books that I see on people's scariest books I've ever read videos and then leaving them to rot on my shelf because I'm too scared to pick them up in case they scare me. I mean, make it make sense. I don't even know what I'm doing myself, to be honest. So in honor of spooky season, I thought I'd put together a list of books that are probably like the scariest books on my shelf that I will read eventually, but I just may need somebody to hold my hand when I read them. The books in this video are more than your regular spooky vibes books. Like, these books are kind of like next level. They will get your heart rate pounding. They will leave you side-eyeing any tiny noise you hear in the house at night. And you most definitely will want to read these with the lights on. Before I get into these books, I just want to say that reading is subjective. You may have read these books and not found them scary at all. But to be honest, the concept of these books alone is absolutely terrifying to me. And if spooky books and books in general are your vibe, I would absolutely love it if you decided to hit that little subscribe button below and stick around for lots of book recommendations and lots of bookish shenanigans and all the fun bookish stuff that we love in this corner of the internet. And I'm going to leave the intro there and I'm going to dive straight into these terrifying books. I just want to show you my jumper as well. Look at it. Get in, losers, we're getting spooky. I bloody love it. I've put the link in the description to where I got it from. Honestly, it is like I'm going to be living in this jumper for the whole of spooky season. Starting with 3 books that I have on my spooky season TBR for this year. So I will definitely be reading these books in the next week or so. I'm actually planning to read them all in the same week. Like, I'm literally going for full-blown trauma vibes. And I'm going to do a reading vlog where I read all 3 books in the same week, and hopefully I will still have my sanity by the end of it. I have spoken about these 3 books on my spooky season TBR video that I posted a couple of weeks ago, but I thought I'd add them into this video anyway because I am genuinely terrified to read them. Starting with The Black Farm by Elias Witherow, and I have heard that this book literally has every trigger warning that you could imagine. It follows the story of a couple who, after losing their child, decide to take their own life. It literally says they're unable to cope with the misery that fills their days. They commit one last act together and die in loving relief. However, they don't actually get the relief that they were craving, and they end up in this like hellish purgatory where absolutely horrendous things happen. It says there, so after Nick, the husband, wakes up, panicked and horrified, he struggles to understand the twisted abominations and hellish world he's now trapped in. So yeah, I have heard that this is like pitch black dark, like very, very dark, from a lot of my book friends that read a lot of horror as well. So I feel like if they've said that this is dark, it's going to be dark, isn't it? There's also a book 2 to this. So I'm going to see how I get on with book 1 first and then decide whether or not I actually want to read book 2. We've also got Brother by Anya Alborn. So this is my in-person book club pick for October and my online book club pick for October. If you would like to join my online book club, the link to my Fable book club is in the video description. It's all free. It's all through Fable. And yeah, we'll be reading this. So if it's not too late for you to add it to your TBR and you fancy joining us, then this is what we'll be reading. So this is apparently about like a family of cannibals. And one of the family members, I think it's one of the sons, isn't actually all that fussed on his family's ways and he wants out. Yeah, so it says, but 19-year-old Michael isn't like the rest of his family. He doesn't take pleasure in the screams that echo through the trees. Michael pines for normalcy and he's sure that someday he'll see the world beyond West Virginia. So yeah, I don't really know what else happens in this book. It's supposed to be very shocking. And a few people, including Ashley, one of my book besties, has said that I need to film my reaction from a certain point in the book, like towards the end, I think, because apparently like the ending is really shocking. I am so excited for this book. I'm so excited to see what my book clubbers think of this book. I think this may be like the darkest book we have picked for our book club. So yeah, I'm so excited. I'm actually going to try and end my reading vlog with the opinions of my book clubbers. I think that would be quite cool, wouldn't it? End the video with. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And let me know if you have read this book and what you thought. And the last one on my spooky season TBR is The Exorcist House Genesis by Nick Roberts. For anybody that has seen quite a few of my previous videos, I have spoken numerous times about the first book in the series called The Exorcist House. There's also book 3, which I think is called Resurrection. I read book 1 last spooky season, and it has taken me until now to feel brave enough to actually read book 2. Like, book 1 absolutely terrified me. Like, it gave me nightmares and I had to sleep with the bedroom light on. Like, those are the vibes we're working with here. I can't really say much about what book 2 is going to be about without spoiling book 1. Book 1 is basically about this family that move into a rustic farmhouse in West Virginia. Why does everything always happen in West Virginia? And this house used to belong to an exorcist. They fall in love with the house until they go down into the basement and they find this hidden room. There's a well that's been boarded up. There's crucifixes everywhere. Like, this book, oh my God, like the things that happen in this book are like, they genuinely terrified me. I was unhinged reading that book. The way book 1 ended, it ended on this like massive cliffhanger. Again, no spoilers. So I am really excited to see what happens in book 2, but I'm petrified. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I feel like I need to get some lavender spray for my pillow or something to try and calm me down so that I can actually sleep at night. And I know that sounds very dramatic, but I mean, I am quite a dramatic person in general, to be honest. So yeah, these are the ones that I'm going to be reading in the next week or 2, and I will keep you updated on how it goes. The next book on my TBR that I'm absolutely terrified to read is Gone to See the Riverman by Christopher Triana. This is a fairly short book. I think it's under 200 pages. Yeah, it's like 163 pages, something like that. And it is about a woman who is obsessed with serial killers. She is a bit of a strange one. She idolizes these serial killers. Her current obsession is this serial killer called Edmund, who has been convicted of butchering 20 women. And desperate to get close to him, she agrees to a task that he's given her, only she has no idea of the horrors that await her on this task. There's like a creepy cabin in the woods. There's this mysterious riverman, and yeah, this is another one that I have heard is very dark and very disturbing and very gory. I mean, it's under 200 pages, so it should be quite a short read, shouldn't it? But yeah, it's literally, it's folklore-y. So it says, soon she will learn the riverman is not quite fact or folklore and definitely not human, at least not anymore. Oh, this does sound so good, but I've literally had it on my shelf for well over a year. And every time I go to pick a book, I look at it and I'm like, nope. Next up is one I haven't actually got a physical copy of, The Rotting Room by Viggy Parhampton. I mean, the cover in itself, what is it about nuns that are absolutely terrifying? They're not supposed to be terrifying, but they definitely terrify me. So this follows the story of a mysterious stranger who arrives at this abbey with all the nuns. The stranger dies not long after getting to the abbey, but very weirdly, her body doesn't decompose. So this sparks claims amongst the nuns that there's some sort of sainthood going on. But I think there's like a priest and his friend that go to investigate these strange occurrences, and they're not sure whether it's like a divine miracle or unspeakable evil that's at play. And I actually saw somebody giving a review for this book, and they said that, honestly, it's absolutely grim, that there's this rotting room in the abbey where all the dead bodies go, and somebody, I don't know who, collects the liquid from all the decomposing bodies. It's making me feel a bit sick just talking about it, to be honest. But my morbid curiosity is getting the better of me. And every time I go to choose a book, I'm like itching to click it on my Kindle. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it to myself. So I think this is actually a relatively new release. So if anybody has read this, then please let me know, because I would love to hear your thoughts. Next up, we have got The Home by Judith Sonnet. And this is a haunted house book. It's your classic like haunted house story. I mean, Anna's Pink. I'm actually going to read you a a little bit of the blurb because I feel like the blurb can do a better job than I can in this instance. So it says, in the early 60s, in a seemingly more innocent time, a group of teenagers were lured into a supposedly haunted house. The place on Sycamore Lane has a morbid history, but that's just hearsay and rumour, isn't it? And then it says his name was Robbie Miller and he was a killer. Driven mad by the thing that lived in the home, he now exists to serve. He'll do whatever the creature that calls itself Mr. Friendly Man asks. He'll even become a ghost. This is giving so many different vibes, like the blurb. There's still more to the blurb. A dark storm is brewing over this wicked house, a storm that will break down the very fabric of reality, a storm that demands blood and sacrifice and feeds on the ghosts of anyone who dies within its premises. This sounds incredible. And you know what? The reviews for it are so good, like so good. I think Judith Sonnet has become very well known for her splatterpunk book, No One Rides for Free, which is, I've not read that book, but I know exactly what it's about. And there's absolutely no way on this planet that I'm going to read that book. And I think this is kind of like slipped under the radar and is a bit underrated. So yeah, I'm so excited to read this, but it does, I mean, it looks a bit creepy, doesn't it? Even the cover looks creepy. Next up, we have got another one with an absolutely terrifying cover, My Darling Dreadful Thing by Johanna Van Veen. Look at that creepy thing on the front cover. I'm like, ah! Looking at that. So this book follows the story of Ruse, and she has a spirit companion that only she can see. And this spirit companion, it says she's strange, corpse-like, and has been dead for centuries. But she's the light of Rue's life. It's got a crumbling estate in it, the death of a husband, an ill woman haunts the halls, strange smells drift through the air at night, something dreadful festers in the manor. This actually sounds a little bit like Silent Companions, like those kind of vibes. Then it says, then someone is murdered. It's giving like insanity vibes. It says Ruse is the obvious culprit. With her sanity and innocence in question, she'll have to prove who or what is at fault or lose everything she holds dear. This is another one I have heard incredible things about. Like so many people have said, it's really scary. Rachel Gillig has blurbed this actually, and she said it's dark and decadent with the haunting allure of a true gothic tale. I think I've made it abundantly clear by now that I absolutely love anything gothic, anything ghosty, anything about insanity and stuff like that. So yeah, I am really excited to read this, but I am a little bit scared as well. Right, next up, we have actually got another one that was on my spooky season TBR, but I briefly mentioned it because realistically, I don't think I'm going to get to it this month. Last Days by Adam Neville. The reason I don't think I'm going to get to it this month is because my spooky season TBR is already completely ridiculous and out of control. And this book is like over 500 pages, so I just don't think I'm going to have a chance to fit it in. But I've had this on my shelf for so long, and talking about it for my spooky season TBR video has actually really made me want to read it. So I'm going to try and read it before the end of the year. And this is giving like Blair Witch found footage filmmaker vibes, and it's about a cult. So it says, I'm not going to read you all the blurb, I promise. I promise this video isn't just going to be me reading blurbs, so I'm just going to read you a tiny bit of it. It says, Kyle Freeman is an indie filmmaker with no money and few options. So when he lands a commission to make a documentary about the sinister cult and its mysterious leader, he jumps at the chance. So yeah, he goes to where this cult used to kind of like operate, I guess, to investigate them and find out all about what they did. But apparently this cult has unfinished business and it all gets a bit dark and sinister. I have seen so many people comment about how terrifying this book is. And it literally says there, an effectively creepy novel that will leave you sleeping with the lights on. Genuinely spooky. It's British as well. I didn't know that. The British Horror Master's 4th novel. So yeah, I am really excited for this. And I'm also really excited for another of Adam Neville's books called The Ritual. This one is available on Kindle Unlimited, and it follows the story of 4 university friends that go on this hiking trip to the Arctic Circle. The Arctic setting of this book is making me want to add it to my winter TBR, which yes, I am already planning what books I want to read for my winter TBR. So yeah, I may put this one on it. These 4 university friends are on this hiking trip. They end up taking a shortcut, which they definitely shouldn't have. And it ends up taking them to this isolated old house, my bloody fave, where they find like ancient artifacts and remains of pagan sacrifices. I mean, hence the name of the book, I'm guessing, The Ritual. This place apparently was where dark rituals took place, and it is still home to this very dark presence, and these 4 university friends have now become its prey. Like, how terrifying does that sound? This is another one that I see everywhere on everybody's scariest books I've ever read videos. So yeah, I cannot wait, but I am terrified. Next up, we have got Naomi's Room by Jonathan A. Cliff. This is a short book. I think this is just over 200 pages, and it is giving major creepy kid vibes. It is about a married couple who are blessed with a child called Naomi. And this is actually set around Christmas. So again, I feel like I'm going to add this to my winter TBR. Charles, who is Naomi's father, he takes her shopping on Christmas Eve. Naomi disappears, and a few days later, her murdered body is discovered. But is Naomi actually dead? That is the question. Again, this is another one that I have seen so many reviews on for it being super dark, super creepy, like very terrifying, which is why it's on my TBR, because I always get, like, my interest is always piqued. As soon as I hear anybody saying, oh my God, this is the scariest book I've ever read, I'm like, immediately adds to TBR. I think I am going to add it to my December/winter TBR, just because of the setting. Like, why not? What more could you want for Christmas than creepy kid vibes? Next up, we have got Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach. And this is another one that I have had on my TBR for bloody ages, like well over a year. And I'm actually going to cheat because the blurb is tiny. So I'm just going to read you the blurb. It says, in an attempt to make sense of his own mysterious and unsettling childhood memories, a man begins to reconstruct his past. As the games and adventures of his youth become engulfed by a larger story, he finds that it forms a tapestry of unbelievable horror that he never could have expected. Each chapter completes a different piece of the puzzle for both you and the narrator, and by the end of it all, you will wish that you could forget what he never knew. So I think he starts delving into his memories and remembering some things that he had forgotten, maybe through trauma or something. I don't know, I may be making that up. Doesn't it sound so good as well that it involves you as the reader and there's like all these different puzzles to solve? I don't know why I haven't read it sooner. I'm saying that. The reason I haven't read it sooner is because I've heard that it's really scary. So I'm just an absolute wimp. And yeah, do I maybe try to read this before the end of the year? Because again, it's only a short one. How many pages is this? 238 pages. I think I may try and read this before the end of the year, you know, if I'm not completely traumatized by my spooky season TBR. Next up, we have got Dark Matter by Michelle Paver. And this is another one that has like a winter Arctic setting. So another one that I am thinking of adding to my winter TBR. I think I'm just going to traumatize myself for the rest of the year. I mean, why not? 'Tis the season and all that jazz. So I think it is basically about an Arctic expedition that goes a bit wrong. There's not actually a blurb on this. It's just all reviews. Oh, it's on the inside. I think it's about this guy called Jack, and he's one of the members of this expedition, and slowly, one by one, for whatever reason, the people that were on this expedition start either leaving or going home or whatever. Jack ends up on his own, and it's not long before he's in a position where he's in total darkness for the whole time because he's in the Arctic Circle. And it's kind of like a race against time because he needs to try and escape. But as soon as the sea freezes over completely, he'll be trapped. And I have heard that this is like super claustrophobic and very atmospheric. And apparently there's something like lurking in the darkness as well. It says there a blood-curdling ghost story about a mind that turns in on itself. Oh my God, has this got another like an element of like insanity about it as well? I can't bloody wait to read this, I'll be honest. Right, next up, we've actually got a thriller book, but the concept of this book absolutely terrifies me. It is called Night Watching by Tracy Sierra. And again, I'm just going to read you a little bit of the blurb because it's really short. It's giving like home invasion, pure terror vibes. So it says, home alone with her young children during a blizzard. Oh, we've got another like storm setting. A mother tucks her son back into bed in the middle of the night. Then she hears a noise. Old houses are always making some kind of noise, but this sound is disturbingly familiar. It's the tread of footsteps, unusually heavy and slow, coming up the stairs. In that split second, she has three choices. Should she hide? Should she run? Or should she fight? Oh my God, I am covered in goosebumps. Stop. Has anybody actually read this book? I don't know why it's on my shelf. I've had it on my shelf for ages, and I don't even know why it's on there. I've obviously bought it and just completely forgotten about it. Doesn't that sound so good and so terrifying? Can you imagine just being in your bedroom and hearing footsteps that you definitely shouldn't be hearing coming up the stairs, and you think to yourself, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's kind of reminding me a little bit of the film Panic Room. Have you seen that with Jodie Foster in it? Oh my God, that film. I felt sick watching that film. Like my heart, I don't think my heart rate went below like 120 beats per minute while I was watching that. So yeah, even though it's not really a horror, I'm still absolutely terrified to read it because I feel like books like this really get under my skin. Next up, we have got Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. And I have heard that this is Nat Cassidy's scariest book. It's been described as being like Rosemary's Baby meets Salem's Lot, which, I mean, that's a very bizarre combination, isn't it? It follows a couple called Anna and Reed, and after a very complicated birth, Anna has been left paralysed. I mean, that in itself is absolutely terrifying. They end up winning this housing lottery and going to live in this very grand apartment. But of course, in these books, everything is too good to be true, isn't it? And when they get there, they realise that something is a little bit off. There's like this sense of unease, the people are a little bit odd, and also, why has the baby got bite marks on it? So yeah, that's all I'm getting from the blurb. Is it about vampires? I actually have no idea. But again, this is one I keep seeing over and over again on videos from people saying that, like, books that terrified them and scary books that they highly recommend. So yeah, if you have read this book, then please let me know, because I do really want to read it. I may have to try and get it on my Kindle, because in the UK, we can't get Nat Cassidy's books very easily. It's really annoying. I think it's on Amazon at the moment, the paperback version, but it's like £16-17 for a paperback. Like, that's a bit expensive, isn't it? Next up, we have got another one I have had on my shelf for the longest time, Intercepts by TJ Payne. And again, I'm just going to read you the blurb because it's absolutely tiny. It's literally like a paragraph. It says, Joe works at a facility that performs human experimentation. His work just followed him home. The government wants to unlock hidden abilities in the human mind. They put subjects in extreme sensory deprivation. All the test subjects went violently insane, but the research continued. Today it has been perfected, almost perfected. It says they're gruesome, gripping, and terrifyingly real. This sounds so good, and it sounds so different. And like, I've never read a book like this before. I don't think I have any other books on my TBRs that are of this nature, like the human experimentation. Doesn't it sound so good though? It's supposed to be like really creepy. Look at the cover as well with the hands. I absolutely love it. So how many pages is this? I feel like this is quite short. This is only just over 300 pages as well. So this has been on my shelf and it's like tucked away. Can you see my little pink coffin shelf there? And it's always tucked away behind there. So I always forget about it. This is why I do these videos, because it reminds me of the books I have on my shelf that I really, really need to prioritize instead of buying new books all the time. Next up, we have got one that I've had on my Kindle for ages, Seed by Anya Alborn. This is available on Kindle Unlimited, and this is the same author who wrote Brother. It is another fairly short one. It is 246 pages, and it follows the story of Jack, who, when he was younger, he ran away, like as a young boy, with nothing but the clothes on his back. He thought he was leaving this unspeakable nightmare behind him, but fast forward a few years on when Jack is all grown up, and he realises that whatever he ran away from actually hasn't gone away at all. Like, there's this profound evil from Jack's past, apparently, that has followed him like all through his life. I think this is supposed to be like a southern gothic suspense book or something like that. It's supposed to be very creepy and very scary. And yeah, it's literally been on my Kindle TBR for bloody ages. And last but not least, we have got Off Season by Jack Ketchum. This is the same author that wrote The Girl Next Door, which I read that last year, I think. And it's based on a true story. It's very dark. So it's kind of giving like slasher vibes. And it is about a group of friends versus a savage human family that likes to eat human flesh. Like, isn't that giving Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes? It's also got like a warning on it that says something like, this novel contains graphic content. So Immediately, my curiosity got the better of me. I was like, how graphic are we talking? I've seen a review for it and it says something like, it's a slow burn that explodes into murder, mayhem, and mutilation. And I was like, oh my God, no, I bloody need to read this immediately. So yeah, that brings me to the end of this video and the list of books that I have on my TBR that I'm too much of a wimp to actually read. I know I've said it a few times throughout the video, but if any of you have read any of these books, then please let me know in the comments. I feel like I need you guys to actually convince me to be brave enough to pick some of these ones up. So yeah, if you have read them, let me know what you thought of them. Also, please let me know, what is the most terrifying book that you've ever read? Like, what book absolutely chilled you to the core? Like, I'm not talking like spooky house vibes. I'm talking like genuinely terrified you. You had to sleep with a light on. Like, this book made you look over your shoulder and scared to go down the street. Like, I want all of them so I can just keep on building my list of terrifying books that I'm too scared to read. I really hope you enjoyed watching and I hope you managed to get some inspiration for your own reading lists. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to hit that little subscribe button below. I would absolutely love it if you decided to stick around. And yeah, I will leave it there for now and I'll catch you all next time.